as you can see, my name is Ariel Pearse. Thank you for that introduction, Jim. I am a Miss World New Zealand 2016 finalist. And as part of my campaign, my platform, I've chosen to look at melanoma or skin cancer early detection and prevention. So I've heard that there are actually many people in this room who have been affected by skin cancer. If you feel comfortable, maybe we can get a raise of hands, so to speak, who have either had it in the past or know someone who has had skin cancer. That's amazing. Yeah, this is the reason why I've chosen to talk about it, because I feel we talk about it far too late. And please forgive me as I go to find my presentation. Yeah. Would you agree? Do you think we talk about it too late? Yeah. Do you think you can put it on full screen, the presentation?
Right.
Cool. I think if you put it, that one. Yeah, that's the one. And the secret mic, you can hear me all the way over here. Anyway, we talk about it far too late in our lives. And so that's why I'm here today. We actually, for Miss World New Zealand, they've chosen a charity for us, and that is the Ronald McDonald House. And so I'm myself raising funds for that charity at the moment, but in addition to that, I've chosen to look at skin cancer prevention. And so my first, I guess, visual aid would have been to get you all to stand up and get into groups of 3. I'm not going to ask you to do that today because I feel like you've already got the idea. And I would have had one of you sit down out of each group of 3, just indicating that today's statistic is that 2 out of every 3 people in New Zealand will have skin cancer before they die. That's 2/3 of New Zealand's population. And, that's actually just past Australia as being number 1 in the world for skin cancer incidence. And we feel that maybe that's the reason of that isn't just because of our ozone layer. It's because we're leaving it too late to tell our children about the effects of skin cancer. And so my goal or vision for tonight, and for at least until the end of June, is to help raise awareness amongst us as well as schools as to how we can detect skin cancer early and how we can prevent it, because it's really, really simple. Let's look at the next slide. Okay. Skin cancer is the most common form of cancer. We already know that. We can see that in this room. Almost 2 people die every day in New Zealand. In the United States, it's every hour. 1 per hour. They have a much bigger population, so it's more expected. The saddest thing about these statistics is that 90% of it was preventable. So that leads us to the point that early detection can save lives. Unlike any other form of cancer, skin cancer can't really be treated by chemotherapy or the drugs that they have going. They have one drug that they're looking at to try to improve, but it only slows down the process of melanoma, giving a patient from 13 to 30 months extra. And that only works for about half of the patients. Types of skin cancer. Okay, I'm going to get you guys involved. You seem to be the most knowledgeable about this that I've done in any other group. So I'm thinking of 3 major types of skin cancer. Can I have someone call out 1 or 2?
Carcinoma.
Carcinoma.
Basal cell carcinoma.
Basal cell carcinoma. There's another carcinoma. What's the other one?
Squamous.
Yes. Squamous cell carcinoma. And then there's that one biggie, big M word, melanoma. Okay, so normally they class them as melanoma or non-melanoma. And so we're melanoma. Is the big baddie, the one that does the most damage, and quickly. Basal cell carcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma, fix this. You're only getting me half the time. Malignant melanoma. And so all of them are fatal if left untreated. The good thing about this is that if you remove them, you have almost 100% chance of survival. Prevention and cover-up, obviously, that's the way. 90% of it is caused through sun damage. Is this really difficult? What I want to do is make it a fashion statement. Bring back hats, bring back sunglasses, and take away the sunbathing. If you know you're going to be out in the sun, be prepared. It's totally worth it, as you guys would know. Basically, never ever get sunburned. Okay, who's seen this before? Oh. Okay, this is what they call Clark's levels. This gives you an indication of how far the melanoma is and what sort of damage it can do. If you have a level, okay, so basically here is where we want to catch it, just on the tip of the surface of the skin. Here's actually your fat cells, this yellow here, and up here in this pinky area is where your blood cells are. And so melanoma, if caught at level 1, so at 1 millimeter, we all know how big a 1 millimeter is, you have a 93% survival rate for 10 years. If we get to 5 millimeters, you have a 36%. That's level 5. Melanoma, malignant melanoma, level 5, 36% chance of surviving for 10 years. We don't know what's going to happen after another 10, because you may get it again. Basically, if it gets to this area here, where the blood cells are, now that's where it gets scary, because then that's when it can travel to the rest of your body. Obviously, skin cancer doesn't normally kill you when it's just on your skin. It kills you when it gets into your blood cells and gets into your lung, gets into your heart. That's when it does the real damage. So what we want to do is, if we can see it, we want to be able to detect it early enough so that it doesn't get to that point. Scan your skin. That's the acronym, SCAN. Sore. S stands for sore. Anything that is sore on your skin, go and get it checked. C stands for changing. You probably can't see that. Changing, obviously, if anything changes. So you may have had something for your whole life, birthmark, suddenly gets a little bit darker or moves, definitely go get it checked. A stands for abnormal. So anything that looks different, feels different, or stands out when compared to others. If it looks weird. New, most melanomas and all of the skin cancers arrive this way. So any new spots, anything that's new, it doesn't have to be black, it could be red, could be orange, anything that is new on your skin. Okay. So we're going to have a little game, put your knowledge to the test. If I could please get everyone to stand up. I'm going to ask you if you think it's a melanoma or not. And I'm going to change it up a little bit, and if it is, and if you get it wrong, then you have to sit down. And basically last man standing wins. Oops. Normally this one gets everyone out. This one's a skin cancer. Here is a squamous cell carcinoma. It's fatal if left unchecked. If you think this is a cancer, put your hand up. Okay? Benign wart. If you put your hand up, please sit down. It's just a wart. It won't kill you. This here, it's a wart. Put your hand, keep your hand down if you think that this is a cancer. Everyone thinks it's cancerous? You are wrong. This is a benign seborrheic keratosis. See? It does look weird though, doesn't it? Or I want you to keep it checked. Put your hand up if you think this is a cancer. You are right. If your hand is up, this is a basal cell carcinoma. Again, fatal if left unchecked. Ooh, we got through that. Keep your hand down if you think that this is a cancer. So put your hand up if it's not. You're right. It's a benign nevus. Okay. Give a round of applause. What's your name? Alan. You can sit down now. Okay. You know, who obviously no one knew all the answers to these questions. Or you may have, we could go through and see if you did. But this is the reason why people are dying. Because we don't know what they look like. And so we do want to educate ourselves and our children and our partners especially, because there may be things that we don't see on us that could be checked. This here is a malignant melanoma. That's just one example of what they look like. Squamous cell carcinoma. Benign. Basically like a colourful spot. Benign. Again, another malignant melanoma. Baddie. Okay, this one has an interesting story. So this man is a teacher, and he was at school one day, and one of the students said, "You need to go get that checked, that's melanoma." And he said, "You're crazy." And she ended up forcing him to go in to see her father, who was a doctor, because she had sat and she had seen all the posters around the place growing up with her dad, knowing what melanomas looked like. And he looked at it and said, "It's a melanoma." He had to get his thumb amputated. I know this through my mum. She used to work with this man. And she told me one day, she said, like maybe a month ago, she said, if it was on his foot, he would have died. And I was thinking, why does it make any difference if it was on her foot or on her hand? And she said, because no one would have seen it. It would have been left unchecked. Now, she's telling me this because my auntie, she had one on her toe. And my auntie passed away a few months ago for this reason. The sad thing about that is that my mum's a skin cancer doctor. So if this was on her finger, she would have seen it. And she would have been able to save her life. But because my auntie did not know what to look for, she passed away. I definitely want everyone to know these things. She tried taking the drug and it didn't work on her. See? Out of all those spots, that's the one. Who would have known? That's why, even if we think we're fine, we have to go get it checked. Okay, that's me. Thank you. So I'm here as part of the Miss World New Zealand, but I, on the other hand, I am funding my campaign through fundraising for Ronald McDonald House. Part of what we do through Miss World New Zealand is we raise money for charities, and we choose our own charities, hence why I'm doing skin cancer prevention and early detection. And so I don't know how Rotaries work, but if there was any way that you could help in me and my charities, then I would love to hear from you all. Any way you can introduce me to people that potentially have the ability to donate to this cause. But I'm so grateful for you guys listening to me today and enjoying my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions, Gloria?
Yeah.
Well,
It's, I know what you're talking about because I've had every one that you've noticed. But a lovely sunny day in the summer and you go down the beach and you still see, especially women, lying out in the blazing sun all day. How do you stop that?
No, you don't.
How do you stop that? Are you asking from your perspective or from
nationwide. I mean, this is the problem.
Yeah.
People hear about it, but they don't take any notice of it.
Yeah, I think, well, something that helped me, because, well, if you look at my heritage, I'm Māori. Normally we say, oh, we've got brown skin, it's not going to happen to us, sort of my genetics. My auntie obviously was Māori, it happened to her. So I feel what helped me, being young and, you know, having the opinion that it doesn't happen to young people, which is also untrue, was hearing stories. So, education through stories, because people don't tend to listen to lectures, but they'll listen to a story, especially if it's a family story. If you were to share your own stories and how that could have been prevented, or through, that's the reason why I'm doing this, so that I can talk to you. I'm also talking to schools as well, so that they can hear it from someone like me, who is at that time where, you know, being tanned is beautiful. And so I would say the best way to stop that is to support someone like me to go and educate the world about this sort of thing from this perspective. But I think you raise a valid point. It's something that's really important, obviously, today. Yeah.
You could always go and tap them on the shoulder and tell them to cover up.
Yeah.
That'd work.
We should
I think I saw one other hand over there. Thank you. Read last
We keep
question.
telling our grandchildren this,
Yeah.
Young girls, and it doesn't seem to help a lot, but we keep trying to get the message across. But then we hear the catch-22 situation. If you keep out all the sun, you end up with vitamin D deficiency.
Yeah,
10 minutes a day.
About
Yeah.
10 minutes a day, isn't
Yeah.
it? That's right, John.
Yeah.
10 minutes a
Okay.
day. So you time them.
but everything
please.
gives you cancer.
10 minutes in.
But 90% of this one can be preventable. And the government wastes so much money on having to pay for this. You know. So a lot of that money could be used.
Thank you, Alice.
Thanks, Ariel. It's really inspiring to have someone young in our community actually out there crusading for some of us older people who've been around for a long time and trying to educate our children. So it's lovely to see someone as young as you out there and just inspiring the young people to slip, slap, slop and look after their bodies. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Take off my mic. So powerful.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ariel. And it's a really serious problem. Right, we will now move on, and I've invited Ariel to stay for the rest of the meeting, and she's quite keen to hear what you do at one of these meetings.
Just for a little bit. If you start arguing, I'll leave.
Be prepared, my darling. But anyway, moving right along. First of all, it is my pleasure we have a thumbnail tonight, and it is our own David Owen. Thank you.